Well, welcome to Lawyers Info Hub. It's always a pleasure to create content on this platform. So today we're looking at how to improve your writing skills as a law student, as a lawyer. Writing is part of the legal profession, and you might love to write to publish, for case reviews. You want to write to present in an event or in a forum. Writing is just a lawyer writes. So it's part of the law profession. So you must know how to improve your writing and stay away from plagiarism. So today we're looking at it, focusing on plagiarism, understanding the types of plagiarism and why people plagiarize. I just hope this will help you improve your skills in writing, whether you're a student, whether you're a lawyer, in whatever form, you want to look at it. It's going to help you to have articulacy in writing and also to present or to have publishable works in terms of articles, case reviews, and whatsoever that can stand the test of time and be of international standard. Now, when you talk about plagiarism, what is it about? Plagiarism is known as literary theft. In the most simple way of explanation, I would just say is when you utilize someone else's work without acknowledging them or without acknowledging the author or the source of that work. Now, academic writing is a literary work which enjoys copyright word protection. So it's important that you acknowledge people who have used their work in writing. So it's a big, big offense in the academic sector or in the academia when you utilize someone else's work without making reference to them, acknowledging them. It's more like trying to shine under someone else's glory without acknowledging the fact that this person was there before me, or this person has written something before me, or I am just, you know, anchoring on what this other person have what written. So plagiarism is the highest offense in the academia. It could be a verbatim word to word copy without proper citation, without proper acknowledgement of the original what author. Now, you can also see it as when you appropriate someone else's ideas without giving credit to them. Now, plurality can come in form of omission of quotation marks in quoted sentences. When you're copying someone's work which has uh, quotation marks, and you fail to, put in the quotation marks in the right places. It can also be in form of provision of incorrect information about a quoted source. You lifted something from someone else's work, and you did not acknowledge the proper source that the person has what acknowledged. So it could also be in form of what incorrect information about a quoted source. Alteration of words in a written sentence structure. So plagiarism can come in form of alteration of words in a written sentence structure of a source without giving credit. That's the way the words are all structured, and you now come and alter it just to suit you without giving credit to where you got it from. It can also come in form of utilization of voluminous words from an acknowledged or unacknowledged source, especially when the words used make up the majority of the author's work. Now, in this one, it's talk about when you utilize most of the voluminous words from a work. You don't just pick few things. It's more like you copied someone else's work into voluminous, utilization of voluminous words from an acknowledged or unacknowledged source. Especially when those words make up the majority of the person's work. It's not like you just repeated what someone else's work is about or another person's work without even giving due knowledge to them. Now you're going to look at the types of plagiarism we have. We have what we call the direct plagiarism. This involves a verbatim use of words, verbatim use of sentences of a source without attribution and quotation marks. You just copy someone's word A for A, B for B, word to word. You even put in the without even attributing the necessary quotation marks. Where, for example, the person have made some quotations, you just ignore it and just make it suit you. You just make it to suit you, but word for word. So it's called direct plagiarism. We have what we call the mosaic plagiarism. The plagiarism, uh, where you use phrases from a source without using quotation marks. Someone has made a phrase in his work, you copy that phrase without putting in the right quotation marks. It's called the mosaic plagiarism. We also have what we call the accidental plagiarism. This is unintentional, yes, where someone neglects to cite their sources or misquote the sources, or not, you don't even cite it properly. So it's accidental plagiarism. The person forgot, or when citing the source, they did not cite it properly. You know. Now, plagiarism of whatever form is not what acceptable. So that the fact is that unintentional plagiarism does not absolve you from the liability. We have what we call the self-plagiarism. This is when a writer republishes his work in its entirety or reusing portions of his previously written text while authoring a new book without acknowledgement. Self-plagiarism. You wrote a book or you wrote a work and you're trying to use a part of what you've written before in a new work without even acknowledging yourself, without making reference to the previous work from which you copied from. It's called self-plagiarism. Now, another form of a plagiarism is when you attribute somebody's work to another person. For example, you made a phrase and the phrase is supposed to be acknowledged to Mr. Pluto in so work. You now acknowledge Mr. Fasad, for example. So when you misattribute information that comes from one source to a different source, even when you paraphrase without giving due credit to the original writer, these are forms of what plagiarism. Now we ask ourselves, why do people plagiarize? One of the reasons why people plagiarize is that one, the pressure of, for example, you're in a academic situation or you're in an academic environment where you're supposed to keep publishing articles, keep writing, and you're being intimidated that other people are writing and you're not writing. So it forces people the pressure. Other people are getting commendation, promotion, you're not doing anything. So it forces them to go and copy someone else's work without knowing the right way to copy and the right way to acknowledge. Another one, the fear of rejection makes people plagiarize. The fact that if I write what I know how to write, I mean, it may not pass the standard expected. So I have to go and copy someone else's work that have passed the threshold. So this is the reason when people don't believe in themselves, it makes them to go ahead to plagiarize. Now, laziness is also what makes researchers not go out of their way to research on the topic that they're writing or whatever they're writing on. So you may look for someone who has written something on it and just copy. Now, for a student who is writing a project or so who's writing his dissertation, is important. At that level, that's like the first time someone's going to be writing, and for some students. Whereby some students as early as 100 level, 200 level, they already are writing articles that we could put up in the journals for the faculty and all that. Whereby some people, their project at the level of the final level is the first work they will actually do. And rather than because of maybe the timing, they need to rush up and graduate and go to the law school, they need to just go and copy anything. Supervision is very important. That is why